Yeah.
All right. Episode 61.
Here we are.
RP strength, trifecta, all that stuff.
What's up, friends?
What's up?
Holler.
We were just talking about caffeine. It's spiraling out of control in my life.
I thought you quit, man.
I did.
He's an extremist. When Jim's on something, he's on it. When he's off, he's clean as a
Yeah, you
whistle.
are a little bit manic.
He is.
You're manic.
Oh, for sure.
Really, like, you think about it. Like, you're all in or you're all
That's
out.
it.
He has his own
You're
drink
still-
named after him
You're
at
still
the coffee
intermittent
shop.
fasting?
I am.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Been
I did good.
Sticking with that?
Yeah, it's good.
Did you know he has a drink named after him? At
Yeah,
Poets?
they didn't
kinda.
even drink after me.
Yeah, it's a very
big deal.
It's a very manly drink too.
Yeah, it's hard. Black coffee.
His black coffee.
No,
Yeah.
that's a lie. It's like 2 scoops of this. My issue is the sugar. My issue in life is sugar. I do good with my diet. I'm not like.
You know what?
just-
Girl Scout cookies ruined my diet.
Wow, I love.
I'm
Girl
just like,
Scout
after dinner, I'm gonna have one. I'm gonna eat
Yeah,
one.
right.
They've
Yeah,
been careful.
one
Sneak
cookie.
back into the laundry room. I'm gonna have 2.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have 3. All right. I'm gonna shut the bag. 4. All right. I'll just eat this whole row, and then it's like, if I eat them all, I can't eat any more.
What's your go-to?
Like if you just get it.
Samoas.
Oh, yeah.
Samoas.
That
Good.
is.
The problem is now every company makes Girl Scout
version
cookies.
of it,
Yeah,
yeah.
a version of it, and they taste
do?
the same, but
Really?
not.
I don't
They're not
understand.
like
You
the
get the Girl
original
Scout
ones.
cookie, and you're like, okay, this
What
is
do
a
you
little bit
mean?
better. Like Keebler makes a coconut delight
yeah,
or
but
something
it's
like
not a
that.
Girl Scout
I-
cookie.
it's close, but man, those
Original Thin Mints.
Thin Mints
In the freezer.
Yeah, Thin Mints are good.
I'm still hunting.
Tagalongs are good too.
Those
Peanut
are
butter,
good.
those are good.
Aren't there 2 different companies that make the cookies too, and then they're like slightly different depending on which one?
Oh really?
I
I
don't know.
think so. I think it depends like where you live or something.
That's kind of fascinating.
Yeah.
We were shopping for a car the other day, and the salesperson had like a bag full of boxes of Thin Mints, and I was like, who are these for? And she's like, well, for me. Like there was like 7 boxes in there. And I'm like, how many can I have? We buy a car,
I'll
I get.
buy a car for a box of Thin Mints.
That's right.
Didn't
They're
work.
like $6
Yeah,
a box.
she
or
shared.
something,
Right.
right?
Oh, okay.
She shared.
They're like 10
Did she
years
share?
old.
Good stuff.
It's hard too when you walk past the Girl Scouts not
I
to
know.
be like.
I'm like, I
can't
want to
say
help you
no.
out, but I don't want
I
to.
always feel bad now because I never carry cash, and so
Yeah.
anybody who's
yeah.
asking for money for anything, and I'm sure they always, I don't have cash, but I really don't have cash.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when the
don't
bell
have
ringer
swiper
and stuff like
cards
that,
by
you'd
now?
think
That's what-
they
I'm
would figure that
surprised,
out.
yeah.
They gotta have like Apple Pay or something. Those Girl Scouts are smart.
Well, I'm not talking Girl Scouts. I'm talking like even like Salvation
the-
Army
yeah,
or
like
anybody
the
that rings the
bell.
bell.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
like, the cop out is always I don't have cash, but really I don't ever carry
Right.
cash.
That's an interesting question, though. Do you
I
think
don't
the
I
bell
don't carry a
ringers-
wallet anymore. This
Right.
is the best invention ever. All my stuff is right here on my phone.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is
It's the
interesting.
best.
I have
Amazing.
a little small wallet similar. It's not attached to and I
Yeah.
don't have cash in it.
I
either.
don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't carry a wallet anymore. It's been amazing.
Did you see that the first, I just saw this on Twitter or something, the first all-girls Boy Scout troop was just inducted?
What?
Yeah.
No.
I said that right.
I don't.
All
I don't want to get into
girls.
I know. You don't want to talk about that
I don't-
today?
I
Let's
don't
just go
wanna
back
get
to talking
into
about cookies. That
that.
pissed me
Yeah,
off. But
I don't want to. I don't want to talk about. I mean,
that's heavy. That's heavy too
that's
fast.
yeah.
I've got a couple good random fun things that I discovered that I want to talk about. I'm gonna save the best one for last because oh man, this morning.
What's this about?
Oh,
Food?
comfort
Comfort food?
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, we'll start there. Good call. This one you can't look at. That's for later. I was all fired up by myself in the kitchen this morning. Okay, so
and you
I
didn't
can just
make it.
imagine that
What?
too.
And you didn't make anything to
no,
try.
I'm not. I know I was gonna bring it.
No, you
okay.
weren't.
No, here's the thing. Did I tell
Like,
you?
what was the thing last year? That's what's it called?
Ratatouille.
No.
I did. Succotash.
Succotash.
I did bring
Oh,
succotash.
succotash.
And you all took 2 bites and stuck your nose in the
Yeah.
air. So
I heard it was
that
horrible.
got you, whatever, nothing.
But
So,
you left out like major ingredients, didn't she? She like
can't
took
remember.
you took
'Cause
it
there's
from
those
a.
weird
She
things in
literally
it.
took a. Remember? She took
she bought the can of
cans
it.
and just
Yeah.
dumped it in there. She didn't
A
make it.
can of succotash.
She went to Food Line up here.
Okay, I went to Publix first of
Oh,
all.
Publix. Sorry.
Second of all,
because they get their canned,
you
their
misunderstood.
Jolly Green Giant stuff from somewhere
No,
else.
you misunderstood because step
They
one.
get it from the Publix farm instead of the Food Line
They
farm.
do. In Lakeland,
If it's from the
Florida.
same company.
And excuse me.
And then they charge you more
Anyway,
for it.
Yep.
so no, the first succotash I made in a huge container that was like several different separate canned ingredients, but I
Canned.
bought a can of succotash.
Did you say I bought a can?
I bought a can.
That's what it sounded like.
Succotash, just in case the first one failed, which both failed, and then
Yeah,
you
they
guys
were
just
all
all
terrible.
stuck your nose up at me.
It wasn't your fault. It's just kind of a weird, I feel like a weird dish. I don't know. Were
I
you
can't
supposed to
even
eat it
believe
cold? I don't
succotash
know.
is a thing. I thought
Supper
that's
and
what a cartoon.
succotash.
Yeah, what?
That we had that at training table in college.
It was,
football players' house.
what cartoon?
succotash.
Really?
Lima beans.
What's his name?
Sam.
It's Looney Tunes.
Elmer Fudd.
No, Elmer
Oh
Fudd.
no, it's a little.
Succotash.
Yeah, what's his
What do
name?
you even
Succotash.
search to find?
Looney Tune with pistols. That's what we're gonna go to
Isn't it-
Google.
like it.
Sam.
Was he a bird?
Is it the guy with the hat and the beard?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Short-
a little-
like the short guy.
Shoot.
Why? No.
Yosemite Sam.
Yosemite Sam.
Wow.
Yosemite Sam.
Nailed
There it
it.
is.
Nice
Good job.
job.
Back here, just like
Oh, this popped up. Did you guys see the new Aladdin trailer?
No.
No.
Have
no,
you-
I haven't seen it, but I
man,
heard
have you
that
seen Will Smith?
he's the genie,
No.
right?
Yeah, it doesn't look good.
Oh no.
Doesn't
Well, I mean,
look,
I
And all
think
the children
it's
are
kind of
gonna
hard
watch
to. Ooh, but you know something interesting about that? So you know why? You know Robin Williams was only paid
Miss Robin Williams.
$85,000 for that role because he wanted his kids to be able to remember his legacy and hear his voice in that movie.
Okay.
Well, so
That's
the first
so
weekend of
creepy.
that movie, oh wow, the first weekend of that movie, it grossed like hundreds of millions of dollars. Like it broke all the box offices. So then he was really mad and was like, "Come on, you guys, you owe me more than that because
Right.
the movie did so well." And all his lawyers, everyone got really mad. So they never ended up like paying him more, but they sent him a Picasso painting valued at $1 million.
Oh.
So
That
Hey,
stinks
look,
that he's
I'm
not
Picasso.
around to be the genie this time.
I don't get it.
Before
you
we dig
uncultured
into the-
swine. Anybody know that one?
No.
You know that one?
Is that Toy Story?
Nice.
Oh.
It's at the beginning.
Miller,
Jim
you're-
just
It's
saw
at the
Toy Story.
beginning where
I did actually.
I knew. I just
where
didn't know what.
Potato Head moves all his parts.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
he walks up to Ham and he says, "Look, I'm Picasso." And he goes,
Oh, I remember
"Nah, I
that.
don't get it. You uncultured swine."
Before you
That
get into
movie's
the
so
food,
good.
can we talk about why you haven't shaved your eyebrows off yet?
Yeah.
Because I screenshotted
Yeah.
Kay Miller, saved my
reminded
life
her.
that night, even sent me a little emoji with a little cold face and said, even if you only do a trickle, take a cold shower.
I don't want her to lose her eyebrows. That's
It
serious.
was as literally.
I vote that Miller is removed from the show.
I vote Miller has to shave her eyebrows.
No, that wasn't part of the deal.
You each shave one eyebrow.
No, I'm never
Absolutely
betting
not.
anything about shaving
Because
my
that would
eyebrows.
have totally. She would have
was-
not remembered.
She would have not
No, it
remembered.
was literally as I was getting out of the tub, and I was like, yes, cold shower it is.
And so, what did you do? Like,
I got up and I took a cold shower, and it
Yes.
sucked, and I was miserable after being all
You
nice and
didn't
warm.
take a
She's
cold
been doing
shower.
it after swimming too.
I
turn the
have.
water on. You stuck
get
your
in the-
hand in
and
it.
It's swimming. I get in the
After-
sauna and then I turn it on cold water for about 5 minutes and take a
Well,
shower.
I only
cold.
do about
It's
7
awful.
seconds.
It's awful.
And I complained the whole time. I'm like,
awful.
oh, this is awful.
This was
5
a
minutes?
chance of a lifetime that you
The
messed
whole
up.
shower
I
I
don't want
take
her to
is
lose her
cold.
all the way
Eyebrows.
over.
I do.
It's open it, open
That's
barely.
Do you know how
Commitment.
weird that would look?
It would
I
look
could
really
look at her
weird.
the
That would
same.
have been
She look
hilarious.
already.
I look
She had to
fine.
draw on her eyelash.
That would have been
That's what
hilarious. They're
everyone
all
does nowadays
penciled in.
anyway. Whatever. No,
But then the cool
I'm-
thing was you could have changed the alignment of your eyebrow each and every day.
Make-
you know,
make
Just
you look
go
like
up,
an
make you go
Huge,
down.
like up.
Yeah.
Just one
There you
down
go.
and one up.
Yeah.
It's like you're like this all the time.
Right, yeah.
Shoot, I had a couple people DM me and ask
Quizzical?
about that.
Yeah, us too. And there was comments on there.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah.
Yep, no.
Shoot.
Kay Miller saved my life. Have the screenshot to prove it.
Boo. You almost fell out of that chair.
I did, but I lived.
I wish you would have fallen out of
No,
that chair.
Yeah.
that's
That would have
embarrassing.
been another good screen grab.
Absolutely. With your eyebrows shaved off would have made it even better.
It's all right. I just would have tattooed all your guys' names as
No, you
eyebrows.
wouldn't.
One would have said Froning and Friends, and then this one would have had all your names on it.
That's hilarious. No, that wouldn't have happened.
It's pretty
but-
creepy.
All right.
What about the food? Are we getting
Get
to
it
the
on to the
Yeah,
food.
so I mean, everyone is like has a favorite food connoisseur or something. I happen to love mac and cheese.
This is
I
true.
make fancy mac and cheese. If you know
That's
me
good.
well, it's like I know Silver well. He has his own drink of poets. KM eats out of a bag of tuna every day, and your favorite dessert is apple pie. You know, if you really
wow.
know somebody, you know these things
I'm
about
so
them.
glad I'm attached to the thought of tuna
Yeah.
pouches.
Out of the pouch. K Miller tuna straight out of the pouch. It's commitment.
You like the spicy, what's it called?
yeah.
Yeah, here's a spicy one.
Yeah.
It's because she's
Sweet and spicy.
Episcopalian.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway,
I'm Baptist.
so
I'm not, but just trying to make a joke.
I wanted to know. So this whole cooking magazine was about mac and cheese. It really spoke to me. So, but they have these really. Had a really weird section about crazy things you can put on mac and cheese, and I want to know which one you guys would choose because they're really weird.
All right.
Okay, so on your baked mac and cheese, would you opt for cheesy crackers? I'm thinking like Ruffles
Sure.
or something. Bacon and potato
Ruffles
chips.
are not cheesy crackers. You're thinking Cheez-Its?
Yeah.
Cheez-Its or Cheese Nips?
Yes.
Oh, what about
Sour cream and onion chips? Is that what you're thinking of, the Ruffles?
The orange ones.
Those are chips, not
Or
crackers.
barbecue.
Oh, that's not.
The orange ones are barbecue.
They do have cheddar, like.
She's cheddar and sour cream. That's what she's thinking of.
Wow, my reading comprehension is off today. Okay, so
but
cheesy
that might be
crackers, which
even
is
better.
a Cheez-It.
The chips.
Okay.
Wow, I missed
sounds
that
good.
one. Bacon and potato chips.
Yep.
Definite.
I don't know how to say this. How do you say this? You pronounce this one because I want to hear you say it.
Cacao e pepe crispies.
Cacao pepe.
What does that even mean? What is it?
Cacao pepe.
You want to say it one more time?
No. Just go
Cow,
ahead
and
and
he goes, Pepe.
Sounds like a
toss
guide
one
over
cup
in.
of crisp rice cereal with 1/4 cup grated pecorino.
Pecorino.
What is
and
that?
2 teaspoons of
Fancy
olive
cheese.
oil and coarsely ground pepper. No, I don't like
Cacao
pepper.
pepe.
I don't like pepper stuff, honestly.
yeah.
I don't like anything that
I
has
don't
a
like
lot of
cheese
pepper. I
either.
If
like
you can't pronounce
You don't
it.
like cheese?
No, I do like cheese, but not pepper with
I don't
like
like
cheese.
pepper, like heavy pepper on any. I like a little
Ooh,
bit
yeah.
of pepper on my steak, but not enough to like, oh,
Right.
that's pepper.
Right.
And no.
That's it?
What's the green stuff that you hate?
For our option.
Ugh, asparagus or cilantro?
Both.
Both.
Cilantro,
I
you
hate-
really
Those
hate.
are the 2 things on this planet I will not. I will eat most anything. Nope.
So you don't want to
No
be buried
asparagus.
alive in cilantro.
No. Sounds like
Have you ever had canned asparagus? It's even worse.
I hate
Ew,
asparagus
oh
with
my
a
gosh.
passion. Did
My-
I tell you
yeah,
the
my
story
dad
when
used to
we were
make us
in
eat
Europe?
that.
No.
No.
So we were with Facundo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so like I guess he was asking my mom and Hillary like what are the things that Rich hates or whatever, just because they knew I was going to be like miserable being away from family for that long. And so she was like cilantro and asparagus. And so the first meal we got for lunch, people got it for us, asparagus or no cilantro. The second day we're in Brussels. So we get these like salads. Well, on top of the salad, they have ham wrapped in what it looked like mozzarella cheese, like a string of mozzarella cheese. And I'm like, all right, sweet. It was white asparagus.
Oh, wow.
I was like, this
They
sucks.
fooled you.
Weird.
It was so. I
going
hate-
downhill.
Yeah.
hate asparagus and I hate
Ugh.
cilantro. I don't
Yeah,
know why.
that's kind of gross. Okay, so no cacao pepe,
No,
cacao
whatever.
pepe.
No, that one sounds awful.
Okay, everything bagel crumbles or
That's weird.
chorizo and
I'll eat it.
breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
If you had to have
All
one
of
of those
those-
5,
The
All of
first
them
one.
except
you
for the
gotta
middle.
pick one.
I don't
Cheesy
care.
crackers, bacon and potato chips.
Bacon
not
and
the
potato
pepe
chips
one.
because it has bacon. It has meat on it. They killed a defenseless
Kristen?
animal.
They did. They
slaughtered it.
sprinkled little.
Would you like tuna and potato chips?
Ew.
And it's highly processed, so it'll help you die earlier.
Awesome.
Okay.
I love it.
Good to
It's
go.
stuck in your colon.
Okay, and the next question, mac and cheese, and then we're over the mac and cheese, I swear. I'm just genuinely curious.
Okay.
Okay, this section's called All Dressed in Mac and Cheese.
So what
So-
foods would you have with mac
No,
and cheese
but-
on them?
I feel like
I'm
this
just
part-
explaining to everybody
Okay,
else
you're
because that's
right.
what the picture
What
is.
is-
Okay,
what'd
you're
you
right.
say?
No, well,
Like,
let's see what you would
What
put it on first
foods
without
would
the
you
choices.
put mac and cheese on?
Because I wouldn't have like picked that. That would not
A
have
waffle?
come up to me.
Oh, that would be really good.
Yeah, it doesn't sound bad actually. As long as the mac and cheese is like you gotta have good mac and cheese.
Okay.
Yeah.
The options are pizza, French fries, baked potatoes, waffles, nachos, hot dogs, burger, or omelet.
Wow.
Any of those,
A
honestly.
lot of those sound
As long
alright.
as they're
Oh,
good.
I don't know.
Like,
Ooh. I
Eggs
don't know. That
and-
sounds kind
No,
of
looks
good to
pretty
me.
good
I
to
think-
me.
Man, that waffle one.
I don't know
It
about the
depends on
pizza.
like everything else that's made with it. Like so yesterday I made so Dave's bread. Have you guys?
Yeah,
you guys
I
have had
love
that,
Dave's
right?
bread.
So they make a
He makes really
blueberry
good bread.
Ooh, I'm
blueberry
in.
bagel,
Ooh,
and it's delicious.
That
So I
sounds
made
really
a breakfast
good.
sandwich with a blueberry bagel and egg, peanut butter, and bacon.
Oh
It
my
was
gosh, that
delicious.
sounds so
Amazing.
good.
It was delicious, actually.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Wow.
Best mac and cheese in town in Cookeville, Tennessee. 7 Senses with the buffalo sauce
Oh,
mixed
really?
in
Is
it.
it good?
Oh, interesting.
Panera,
good.
Panera has a pretty good bacon macaroni and cheese. I forgot Hillary gets it, and it's delicious.
Pretty good.
Wow.
I do love mac and
But
cheese.
Panera, you pay $50 and you get something.
Seriously.
4 bites of mac and cheese.
I like the stuff out of the box.
Really?
Which
Yeah.
one? The Velveeta or
Like-
Kraft?
No, Kraft. I don't like the
with,
cheese sauce.
So with Kraft, you substitute the milk and put extra butter in there.
Uh-huh.
Really?
Yeah, but you got to eat it within like 2.5 minutes, or else it gets. It's like French fries from
yeah,
McDonald's.
yeah,
Like
you have-
as long as you eat them within a minute or two,
Right,
they're
yeah.
delicious. And then as soon as it's over, throw it out.
Ooh,
might, as
I
well
gotta
throw,
try that.
might as well throw that 99-cent box out. You know?
That's a lot of money. I don't know if I can do it.
But yeah, replace the milk with all butter. Just a little
All
extra
butter.
butter.
All right.
It's delicious.
Wow.
Interesting.
Mac and cheese.
That was great.
Yeah.
I feel
101.
educated. You know what? Also, we're not to the best one yet, but I did see in the meantime. Why does? Because this is probably super interesting to you guys.
I can't wait.
Why
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Does I know I can tell? Tequila
no
make
edge
your
to this.
throat burn? Why does coffee? One sip of coffee. The ideal temperature for coffee, by the way, is 160 degrees. Apparently, like across the board.
Is it the same reason why tequila makes your clothes come off? That's what the song says.
It is.
Are they the same thing or no?
Why does tequila make your?
I don't know if this is the
Alcohol?
same reason.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
It
You
was
can't
scientific.
ask the question and then not know the answer to said
Well, it has
question.
something to do with something
Ellie.
binding to something in your throat and freaking it out. So even it's not
Is
even
that
about
with
the,
any? It would be with
Yeah.
any alcohol,
no.
though, right?
Okay. Well, okay. Here, to protect your insides, your mouth
'Cause
and
it's
throat
poison.
both have pain receptors called something that looks like vanilla, VR1. That's tuned to react to food's temperatures, acidity by stimulating neurons to transmit the sensation of pain to the brain. These receptors are super sensitive to high temperatures and from compounds like whatever. Stop snoring at me.
Jeez, we just lost a million
Yeah,
viewers.
everybody's
Hold
just
on.
logged off, and
No,
that guy
because
that
everyone wants to know.
Nobody wants to know.
I don't know. Something about the ethanol binds to something, and it
it's
freaks
just
out your
poison.
esophagus
It's
and your
poison.
spinal cord, and you have a sudden sensation of warmth all over and a nasty
yeah,
burn in
it's
your
like
throat.
drinking fuel.
yeah.
Doesn't bother me much.
No. Yeah, if
like
we were to
it.
be honest.
When
just
you
kidding.
when you deaden the senses to it, yeah.
I might. No, my senses are like.
Desensitize yourself.
I think I'm extra sensitive.
What's the name of the little Mexican restaurant? Kind of over
like,
by my house.
Oh, Mags.
Yeah.
Oh, Miguela's.
Miguela's.
They have a nice margarita.
Do
there.
they?
Big giant fish bowl. It's the size
Oh,
of
that
your
sounds so
face.
fun.
I would.
Tuesday,
I mean, I've seen
Tuesday.
it before. I've
You've
seen.
never
Seen
never
other
had it,
people
of course.
partake?
Yeah, I've seen people served.
So
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Dead air, silence.
No, you know
Here
what
we
book I
go
ordered
again.
this morning?
Something about space.
How do you know that?
Because I saw an astronaut on your pizza paper.
Okay. Okay, this book just came out. And this is what we're talking about next week, so just get excited whenever the book gets here. The Astronaut Selection Test Book. Do you have what it takes?
Somebody
Just
said.
came
we
out.
have what it takes?
I don't know. So but in the meantime, so
That's exactly how her
Hey.
dad said she can't answer the phone.
exactly.
Somebody said that they filmed the space landing, the moon landing in Area 51. That's what
Oh,
they
I
said
saw
on
that
the.
comment.
on
Who's
our
this
comment.
person? Tell me your credibility.
It was on our YouTube. It's on our YouTube
You know,
comments.
Yeah.
oh, this is real, and I probably don't even know if I can say this, but I don't know that
Okay.
they watch stuff
Oh,
like
no.
this.
Are
This
you
is
this
serious as a heart
classified?
attack. It is.
Okay, we're dead. We're
Oh
all
man,
dead.
I'm sorry. If
Be careful.
If we all disappear,
NSA.
you know
Yeah,
it's true.
I'm worried
NSA.
now. Do
Oh
I
my
want to be part
gosh.
of this?
But seriously, so
I'm tuning
I
out.
really hope that
I'm not
no
part
one
of this.
from
Earmuffs.
I hope that no one from Kyle's work listens to this.
Okay. Nobody's
No,
listening.
nobody's listening. Kyle especially.
he's never listened to one, so it's fine. Anyway, had dinner over Christmas with a bunch of the people, his team, and one of the girls, I think it was her father, had a top secret job, and
Did he film the lunar landing in Roswell, New Mexico?
so on
That
his
was his top secret
on
job.
his deathbed.
Said it was fake.
No, I don't even know if I can say it.
Just say
Could
it.
you not say
You
it?
have to.
Because this is his man's legacy. Because they were always asking him about. No,
Why
I'm not
did
kidding. This
How
is
did you
not
find
a
out
made-up
about
Just
it?
story.
It's some guy's
say
legacy.
it.
How do you know about it?
Just say
Because it
it
was all due to telling stories and having some alcohol, and you'd say things you shouldn't say.
And he's dying
Yeah.
on his deathbed and he's senile. So go ahead.
We're fine.
I mean, he's just
Just-
talking about aliens and stuff.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
fine.
yeah,
And
yeah.
some of the stuff that he saw and all that business. And I'm
Well,
not a
let's hear about
conspirator.
Let's hear it.
I can't go into any of it, but that's I'm going to leave
Government
it at that.
conspiracy.
I don't
oh
want
my
everyone
gosh.
to
All
get-
that lead up for that.
Boo.
That there's aliens?
You should be
that
kicked
they've
off.
seen
Yeah.
other
Tell us.
that they've made contact with aliens. That's not a
That's
big
what he
fact.
said.
I'm not
There's
talking
no
about
fact.
it.
You have no facts to back
Just
up
someone
your
who actually was part of the biggest.
allegedly.
All right.
So he was part of Area
So-
51 and came in contact with aliens.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Dude, I hope NASA calls and we
now-
get to go
yeah.
to space camp.
Now
Oh,
we've
jeez.
just
Okay.
crossed over into
That's like-
conspiracy
Okay.
theories.
Do you know how many people have been drunk and or high and
Exactly.
or on
That's
this
fine.
planet?
Speaking of
Okay.
that, did you hear about in Houston? This guy broke into this abandoned house to smoke weed,
Oh, that was in Houston?
and there's a tiger in there.
Oh.
That.
Oops.
Could you,
There's
did
a
he think it was,
tiger
did he
in there.
pet it?
Someone had a
Like-
tiger in the
He
house.
called the police and was like, "Hey." Told him what he was doing. He's like, I'm not sure if I'm hallucinating or if there's really a tiger in here. There was a tiger in there. Somebody
Wow.
was just feeding a tiger, and apparently this thing was like overfed, and so it was huge and fat. So they had to trank it, take it out, and then now they're giving it to some like wildlife
Aw.
refuge or something. But
So he had
That's
one.
crazy.
I heard somebody say that Texas has more. They have laws that are different, but they have more like tigers there and lions than like
In
any other
Texas?
place. Yeah,
Wow.
people own them privately
That's
For
crazy.
pets.
for pets.
I don't have time to do
Yes,
this right
you
now.
have to do this.
I'm not doing this right now,
wait,
or else I'm
okay,
not going
so-
to pay attention. I'm not
You're-
going to talk.
it's-
No.
I
I'm
did
not
it
doing
this
this
morning.
right
and It
now.
took me less than a minute, so
I'm
I
not
just want to
doing
know if
this
you
right
can
now.
do it.
I don't want to do this right now.
Okay, so I'll see if they. Would you like to do it?
What is it?
Here's the thing. Okay, so.
What are you asking me?
And then I'll move on from the nonsense, I swear. But this is cool.
This
so this
is pretty
astronaut,
nonsensical.
before he could even do anything else, it is nonsensical. Good word. They asked him if he could solve these three things.
It's this one.
This was his first few tests?
You're right.
To being an
It
astronaut?
was not hard.
Oh,
Oh, that's one of the puzzles. I got 1 of 3 too. And that was the only one I got. I didn't get the other 2.
So
the other
you're
2
not-
are hard. Wait, I have the answers over here. You
I
can't
mean,
see them.
I'm not going to pay
There,
attention. Hold
it's-
on. I'm going to have
anyway,
to do it
so
after.
one, for instance, one's a puzzle, like you're looking at shapes, so you're looking for a pattern. And the second one is wheels 1 and 2 have the same radius. How fast will wheel 2 rotate if wheel 1 is being driven? Whatever. That's
How
physics.
fast? Yeah, I don't know.
I
I never
took
took physics once.
I did, and I didn't
either.
It was not my
I'm
favorite.
not qualified to be
I
an
had to take
astronaut.
geometry and
And
college
this,
algebra.
And this
That was
one's
it.
geometry. A line runs through the middle of a 3D shape such that it is equivalent from all surfaces. What is the shape?
Equivalent. Is it
And I was wrong.
equidistant?
Equal.
Oh, equidistant. Not equivalent.
I'm like, equidistant. What is the shape?
Yeah, it tricked me. I
A
didn't get it
sphere.
right. That's what I said.
No, that's not right.
Nope.
Shoot.
It's a cylinder.
It's for mathematicians. It's essentially asking for the locus of a straight line. The answer is B. You got it right.
Cylinder.
Dang it.
Oh, because it's going in a straight line. It's not at one point.
Oh,
Right?
That would make sense. That just makes me angry that you got more right than me.
Rich
I'm
is
taking
more.
the test
On
again.
the road to being an
He's-
astronaut.
He's more capable
Yep.
than you are, Ellie.
But he didn't try the 3rd
I'm
one.
more
so.
capable to do some filming in the desert in New Mexico than you.
No, you're not. Anyway, next week we'll talk about what it takes to be an astronaut. That was
with
just the initial
people
quiz.
dressed up in alien costumes.
Because you ordered a book that's actually going to talk about it.
It is it's going to be pretty
What's the book
incredible.
called?
How to be an astronaut.
I don't know. I lost it.
Bring teasers
no,
before you go to space.
The astronaut selection test book. Do you have what it takes?
Oh, do you have what it takes?
Do you-
Was it
So-
written by an
Subtitle.
astronaut? So he made it,
It
like
was.
10 times harder to make it look like.
By Joe Kowski. Kowski.
Kowski?
Wow.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, Joe. We just shout out to your book because it came out in April. So
Wow.
we'll see if anyone else wants to be an astronaut too. So wow, that was really emotional for me. I'm glad we got to do that. Thank you.
Wow. That we were all over the
I
place.
watched Armageddon the other day.
Mac and cheese. That
What'd you think?
I
such
like
a
that
good
movie. I like it.
But this is what I was talking about because we just discussed some of this. I get it's completely fake and it's a movie, but you couldn't launch 2 rockets side by side, right? That close?
I don't
Those
think
things were
so.
close,
I
right?
wouldn't think so.
Yeah, and they're like spiraling up
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
You're like, nah,
Yeah.
dude, come on.
There's so much in
I mean,
that.
obviously the movie's super fake, but it was just that was the one thing I was like, oh yeah.
You have new kind of like thrusters or whatever. What do you call them?
That
rocket
movie was
boosters?
made in like early 2000s,
Well, I
late
get
90s.
that, but I'm
so
just saying the technology now. What was that thing that SpaceX just had on their Instagram recently about the new Raptor?
I don't
yeah.
look at
Engine?
SpaceX. Anything.
You should.
Why should I?
Forward thinking.
It's cool what
Did you
they're
see
doing.
that?
I have no idea what
Did
you're
you
talking
see
about.
that Mars
SpaceX?
One or whatever?
The Raptor
One
thing.
what?
The Raptor.
Well, the idea of like they were going to colonize Mars went bankrupt. Imagine that.
Yeah. Colonize Mars. You can get there, but you can't
No
come
one's
back.
building stuff on the moon.
Because it doesn't
so
matter
whatever.
how bad the climate change happens here, it's still going to be better than Mars.
Yeah.
Ellie, would you go to Mars and live there
Like if you could get there.
if it was developed?
6
and, like,
months, right? That's what they say. 6 months to get
Yeah.
there.
I mean, it would depend on the condition of Earth. Like, if Earth was fine, I'm not super inclined to go to Mars. It doesn't look.
Well,
I mean, I
isn't
like
the
the,
sun, like-
ocean and tropical stuff.
I
you
don't
know?
remember a ton about like any of that, like astronomy, astrology, astronomy.
astronomy.
The sun's supposed to like grow at some point, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't Mars is farther, so it would technically eventually be hospitable, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how it works. I don't know.
I thought you could get to Mars. There's technology to get you there, but they couldn't. They can't get
You
you
can't
back.
get
You just
back,
don't have
yeah.
resources. Like, how do you go there with enough resources?
Haven't
That's
you
what
seen
I just.
The Martian?
I did.
Just kidding.
And there were
But
actually
then the whole thing, I
wasn't
wondered,
that
how do
great.
you have the resources once you get there? Anyway, it's
people
fine.
would actually do that though. There's probably
yeah,
a
there was people
significant
that were
amount of people
signed
would be
up for
like,
that.
"Hey, send me."
Yeah.
That's
Not me, dude.
crazy.
Nah, dude.
No.
I'm good here.
It's not super tropical there.
Although it is raining a lot here.
It has been.
Yeah.
Right.
I
It
finally
has
got a
been.
one wheel.
Yes. Have you tried
Showed
it
up-
yet?
look outside.
Finally.
Well,
It's a good
I
thing.
mean, you could use it in the gym or in the barn
Yeah,
a
in
little
the
bit,
barn.
I guess.
See how
Not
good you
much.
can
Can't
get
really
on
get
it.
going in the barn.
Yeah,
we
that's
could've bring
true.
it to the gym, but
We're gonna see. We're gonna test your skills. Let's build a ramp. Let's put some
I don't
fire
think
on
that's
it.
a good idea.
Don't fall off.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Please
that's
fall
not a
off.
good idea.
Just not injure yourself, but fall off. Hit the ground. I want to see him bounce.
jeez. Do you want to see him bounce?
Have you even gotten on it yet? Gotten on one yet?
Yeah. Someone was holding my hands. Who was
Exactly. Somebody's holding my hands.
it? Someone volunteered. They're like, "Whoa, that's not a
Those
good
things
idea."
are scary though, because like if you get
They're a
going to
little,
like to
yeah.
control, like I've seen some
I think
people
so.
fall off of those things.
Yeah, I watched somebody try to get on it the other
that
day, and he
like
was
ride it all the time.
thought he was an athlete, and he was not. It was not happening. He was
But
all
they
over
look
the place.
super fun.
Yeah, they're
Like,
gonna
you
come
can go
be,
off road.
They're gonna be on the podcast.
cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
They're gonna come hang out with us and maybe teach us some one-wheel tricks.
Yeah, have him
Oh,
bring him
We need
in.
a one-wheel gang.
Sweet jumps.
Some sweet jumps.
Let's
get some air.
Oh, that'd be pretty sweet. So this was a kind of sad twist, but I figure like with Valentine's Day on the
Let's
horizon.
bring it down.
With
Let's bring
Valentine's
some
Day.
No, this is like relationship advice with Froning and friends.
Oh, wow.
So no,
Don't
but
take
truly,
any
like,
advice from me.
Yeah.
okay. Well, anyway, so I got a message from my friend today that made me so sad, and she was just, like ended a relationship that she thought was going really well, and I was, thinking about like what advice to give someone when they think they're most likely probably with the person they thought they were going to end up with, and the person comes back. What advice, given your sage-like wisdom now, do you give to someone that's going through a situation like that? And
Move on.
I mean, was she married?
no.
I mean,
then you're
at least
fine.
before
There's no
like
ties,
it
no,
happened
like-
before that.
Come on.
That's what
I don't know.
so my dad
This
told
is
me.
not our area of expertise
I know, but
whatsoever.
it's Valentine's Day coming up. I figure we get some
No,
relationship
So let's
Oh,
talk about
advice.
people breaking up.
How did this happen? No.
No, I say this because my dad gave me a really good piece of advice one time, and I think that it's
What did he
a
say?
valid thing to share with people
Okay, share
when
it.
you go through something
Share
like
it.
that.
What do you got?
He told me, and why I was at this point going to my dad for advice, who knows? I guess I told him everything, but he was like, honey, you should be thankful that someone, or consider it a gift that someone shows you who they are and shows you their true colors earlier on. It's the saying that when someone shows you who they are, believe them. He's like, because you don't want, like, he's like, people tiptoe around who they really are in relationships, whether it be to make the other person happy or you think it's too confrontational or whatever. And he's like, having someone show you who they are early on saves you from heartache, frustration, and controversy later on, which I
There
think
you
is
go.
valuable.
There's
There
your
you
silver
go.
lining.
Good job. There it is. Next.
I think.
What are we talking about right now? What are we talking about?
Well, the one thing I thought of was you said that this person. So you're talking about a female, and the dude came. I know dudes, and in general terms, that didn't happen overnight. So it wasn't like
Yeah, it wasn't.
he just showed up, and all of a sudden, a day later, decides he doesn't want to be with her. That had to have been going on in the background over some time.
I know,
So
but
I
I'm
would
just
be
saying
the-
that's a blessing in disguise because you didn't.
Yeah, because you were not married. You don't have kids.
Yeah, for
You're
sure.
gone. You
Oh my
cut
gosh,
ties.
that's what I mean.
sure.
Like it's all a good thing in the long run, and it's all gonna be good. You just have to get through the initial hard part of it.
Okay, no
Right.
more relationship
Okay,
stuff.
we're
Let's
done.
go.
We're
Happy
moving on.
Valentine's Day, everybody!
That's it. That's
Hey.
it. We're done with that. Not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
Well, we sort of bumped into it there, but
Yeah.
we're
I just
leaving.
thought that was I just was trying to share my dad's wisdom. That's all.
That was good.
I'm
I
sorry.
liked it.
I shouldn't have reeled you in. I
That's
should have
good
just
wisdom.
shared the wisdom.
Yeah, you
My
should have shared the
apologies.
wisdom. Wisdom.
I didn't mean to make that uncomfortable.
No,
for you.
man, that's like. Can you imagine if you had kids and
Oh, it'd be awful.
Yeah,
you were
for sure.
connected and built a home and all that? Heck yeah. Know about it now and move on.
Move
Move on. Okay, ready?
Boom.
How to have a shredded mind. Want to talk about
A
it?
shredded mind?
A
What does
shredded
that mean?
mind.
You know Jim Quick. I love this dude. It's the
Yeah.
dude who remember. This is the one
This
episode
isn't Johnny
in Pod.
Rocket.
No.
Oh.
Remember the episode?
Charlie Rocket.
It's in podcast space where we did the thing where you learned the thing and it was amazing.
We did the thing where you
the
learned the thing.
face
Yes,
thing.
remember?
That guy
That
is
was one of my
fascinating.
favorite
Okay.
episodes.
He
I
is.
still have it on my computer, and someday we'll release it to space. The audio is a little sketch, but it's one of my favorites. It never got released.
Oh, it didn't.
No.
Why not?
So we,
Oh.
we need because the audio, and we've released some subsequent to that with the same situation. The audio here cut out, and it was only that audio, but you can hear
Oh,
fine.
yeah.
Anyway, we'll maybe
just
release
give it to
that.
Trey and have him
Okay,
fix
I
it.
will. It's fine. Why I have it, I don't even know. Anyway, same dude, Jim Quick. Imagine
Jim
if
Quick.
that was your name. I feel
I know,
like you'd be a
Jim Quick.
distance
Did
runner.
he change that name because of what he does?
No,
that was his
it's
name.
Quick, KWIK.
Yeah, I know. That's
Like
crazy
Nez
though.
Quick?
Yeah.
But like quick thinking.
Yes.
Good stuff.
He does
Biz quick.
some
Nez Quick.
good
Nez
stuff.
Quick.
Anyway, how to have a shredded mind. So he has this doctor on, I don't know, a while back, and
Phil?
they go through Phil. It's not
Oz?
Dr. Phil. Oz. I listened. That's later today.
Oh.
We'll visit that. It's not
Great.
okay. It is.
Foreshadowing.
Today's such a hodgepodge. I love it. Okay, what do you think you need to have a shredded mind?
I don't even know what that means.
Parallel it to bicep curls. I don't know.
I don't
You
want my
fitness for your
Brain to be
professional.
shredded.
How do you think you?
What do you mean, like a focused mind that works well?
Right. I was.
Okay, if people, the analogy I would say is if you have a shredded body, you take care of your fitness. That we know that
You're
that's not
lean.
all true. So a shredded mind would
Low
be you
body
take
fat.
care of your brain. Yes.
Cool.
Okay.
So
You do a lot of crossword puzzles
Sudoku.
that's actually
Sudoku.
what I would have thought.
and
No. Fail.
I don't know.
Take
That's
Alpha
probably
Brain
true.
from on it.
What was that? They used to advertise all those brain games that you could play.
Oh yeah.
You read.
Truosity?
Oh, yeah.
not Luminosity. Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah,
So are we
Luminosity.
talking about like the brain as an organ
like
or
your brain
mental?
being more efficient?
So-
like
That's a great question. I
Mindset,
can't actually
kinda.
give you detail on that.
anyway, go ahead and
Okay.
spill it.
So this doctor, Dr.
Oz.
Stephanie.
Phil. Stephanie.
Oz.
That doesn't
Whoever
flow.
Ozphil
That doesn't
is.
flow as well. Dr. Steph. Dr. Steph.
And I don't know anything about the second half of this, so someone can help. But okay, number one is sorry. The first one is fuel.
So we're
Where are we going
No,
with this?
So we're gonna start this and not tell you how to finish it. Yeah, let's do it.
Not. You didn't listen. We're not there yet. So
How to
number
get a
one.
shredded mind? We don't
is-
know.
Carbohydrates.
No, it's fuel.
Carbohydrates.
And it says remove processed carbohydrates. So the removal
good-
of the
good-
fake stuff.
So good carbohydrates.
Yeah.
Okay.
So remove
Good, healthy
processed
diet.
carbohydrates. But she said, and this is where I kind of like zoned off and was
Omega.
thinking about where the
I'm
things
about to
oil.
zone off. Go ahead.
was. No, don't do the snoring sound. Don't do the snoring sound. The ketone diet, she says, is better for your brain.
Keto
something
diet.
about getting your cells into ketosis, and then you can break the. Don't do it.
Something about something
the,
about something.
The blood-brain barrier. Anyway, I don't know anything about much about ketosis. I understand how to get there, but I don't know why that would help brain health. I
Well,
don't
they
know
say
that.
because your blood glucose goes up and then your insulin goes up, and it's just like
Spikes
riding a
you,
roller coaster,
yeah.
and so your energy levels and your brain and everything
It's the
just
same
goes
idea
like
behind intermittent fasting.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Insulin
So are you
spikes
in
and all that stuff.
So it
Yes.
I'm
interferes
not
with
ketone
ketosis,
floating
no,
around?
because I don't do a keto diet. I still
Okay.
eat carbohydrate,
And-
but I
okay.
just shorten up my window when I can
Right.
have carbohydrate, so I don't have the ups and downs. I only have an up and down for 8 hours, and then 16 hours is just
One of
coast.
the benefits for sure of the fasting is mental clarity.
Yep.
And
Really?
as
you're
not
not
just
thinking
talking-
about food. You're literally
Definitely
like, hey, you
experience
know
that.
I know I can't eat.
Yeah.
So I don't even really think about it.
Do you ever like get sad and then you just eat?
It's really weird because
If I get bored, and usually
Yeah,
I
like-
used to, like on Sundays, usually are like kind of hangout day and we don't really do a ton. on Sunday, I would find myself eating, but it was just because I was bored. Like, not because I was actually hungry.
Yeah.
I still do that in that 8 hours because I'm bored, but now
Yeah.
it's like at least shrunk
Yeah.
down to that 8 hours.
Eating definitely like gets in the way of me doing other things. I'm like, oh, I could go have a snack right now,
Yeah.
and then instead of like doing something, I'm like, oh, I'll go eat that.
Yeah, and
It's
that's
true.
kind of the
I agree.
self-discipline.
Yeah.
And then, for sure for me, that's the biggest piece for me, just removing something that I want to have. And then I've really gotten used to, I like feeling hungry now.
Yeah.
I like that
Feel
feeling.
alive.
Yeah.
It's got to be good for like, what is it, your amygdala or whatever too, to have to say no to things because apparently, like the more you challenge it, the bigger it gets. I
The
guess.
medulla oblongata.
Although I have had to apologize in meetings
Is that why alligators
because
are so ornery?
my stomach's growling
Growling?
loud.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And you're
it's
like, I'm sorry.
crocodiles. I had a crocodile fact.
No.
What?
Do you wanna hear
I was
it?
doing Water Boy.
I know. I knew that you were. It's good. Good
The
work.
reason alligators are so ornery is because they have all them teeth and no toothbrush. That's what Mama says. She said amygdala. I thought.
Yeah, I knew where you're going with that.
Oh, wow.
And I had a crocodile fact, but
What's your crocodile fact?
do you know? This is a good one. They swallow food whole. So, and I learned this from a 7-year-old.
So you know it's real.
It is. It's true.
Yeah,
this is a
it's
really
a
smart
fact.
7-year-old. So they have to eat rocks to help digest their food.
Same
Oh.
with
True
birds.
story.
Birds and stuff do that.
How do you know
They
that?
eat- they
Are
eat
you a
grab 'em.
zoologist?
He
They
talked to a
do.
7-year-old too.
An 8-year-old, actually.
Yeah.
That's why they eat gravel. It's to help crush up the food as it goes down.
Kristen, is this true? She's a veterinarian.
No, I'm not.
She's a veterinarian.
I've heard that before too, though.
Birds eat gravel.
Okay, good fact check. Okay, on to number 2 while we're fact checking. So one was fuel, limit processed carbohydrates.
Yeah, sharp
Right.
pebbles and grit.
Ooh.
They
Grit.
hold them in a muscular part of their stomach called the gizzard.
Gizzard.
Ooh, gross.
It contracts and grinds the gastroliths
So
against
maybe-
each other and against the food the bird has swallowed.
So is it not good to eat gizzards?
Birds have to
No.
swallow each bite whole
Save the
too.
neck for me, Clark.
Yuck.
Okay,
ew.
so diet, important.
fuel was one.
Fuel.
Yeah, sorry. 2, flame.
Flaming.
Flames.
Wow. Framework. So eliminating low-level decisions because they're saying like,
Makes sense.
what was it? Steve Jobs put out his clothes the night before. Having a morning
Yeah.
routine and a night routine.
Eliminate chaos.
Right.
More order.
So when you create structure around your life,
I
you end
wasn't
up with more
listening. What did
freedom.
you just say?
See,
No-
that's a
num-
perfect example of eliminating chaos.
Yeah. Number 2 is flames.
Yeah.
No.
Flames?
That's what I said
Yes,
on
flames.
accident. And then they made fun of me. It's okay. Framework. And it was saying eliminating low level decisions. That's why Steve Jobs put out his clothes the night before. So having a morning routine and an evening routine gives you more freedom to make
Structure.
decisions. Yes. Which, I mean,
So
So
far,
you don't
very
have to waste
fundamental.
energy.
yeah. So those
Good.
are just, that's number
Complete
2.
opposite of what
Okay.
we do, but all right.
Right? Let's try that someday.
Yeah.
This one, I feel like is right up your alley,
Gonna wear
Silver.
Okay.
black or gray today. Those are my decisions.
Gosh. Really, really dark
Black
gray.
or really, really dark gray.
3 is fears. And they were just saying
Buried
like,
alive. That's it.
I know. Now buried alive in
Oh,
cilantro.
who was
I
talking
think
about
that's
that you
better
could
for
do that? Haley.
Haley.
What?
You said you can go somewhere and do that.
Get buried alive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
No.
it makes it feel like it.
No.
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 Why would you
said
want to do
Rich
that?
should do that.
No.
I don't know.
So you're not really getting buried alive. They
See,
just,
that's what the
No. That's horrible.
deprivation tank. That's what I think I would feel like.
Like you're being buried alive.
I still want to try that. I don't know why I haven't.
I
gone and
really
done
want to
it.
try that, but
I need to do
I can
that.
see that.
Yeah, it doesn't seem super comfortable.
Like the confined space stuff that we did.
Confined space doesn't bother me. Like as long as what I learned is because we would do the trailer, the confined spaces trailer in fire
Yep.
department, we'd have to crawl through that like 16-inch tube,
Oh, that doesn't sound
and
fun.
so as long as I had one arm up,
Right?
and like as long as both arms aren't trapped here,
Yeah.
I was all right.
You're okay.
And sometimes I would take a glove off just to kind of feel some air moving. or
Yeah.
That's
else-
interesting.
But confined spaces trailer never bothered me. But yeah,
Because it
Buried
wasn't
alive.
real, I
Yeah.
was never worried about
Yeah.
it. You're like,
And the awareness of that is probably pretty huge in that.
right. You're like,
They're not
I'm
gonna
making
let
it
you
through
die.
this. But I can't think about like Somebody told me about going to, it was in Israel, and you can get down into this temple that's
tubes.
buried in water and all these tubes, and your face is here, and you get out. And I'm like, I don't know. And you go a long ways through the tubes.
Especially when there's like a bunch of people.
Yeah.
They're like
Anybody
in a
panics.
line.
I have a funny confined spaces trailer story. One of my buddies, we were going through the confined spaces trailer, and if anybody who's been around firefighters or knows on your SCBA, self-contained breathing apparatus, there's an alarm, a low air alarm. So it just starts this like real like ting, 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 just letting you know you're below, I forgot whatever percent it is. And so his low air alarm's going off. Well, he starts going through the tube, and all of a sudden, you know that like when it vibrates,
the respirator vibrates.
that means you're out of there.
no.
And he's like, I'm stuck. And then all of a sudden it starts like vibrating. Well, luckily there's a trap door on the thing, so we pull the tube out like it falls like 5 feet. He's like a younger guy, but anyway, so we rip him out of there. But it's like, I'm stuck. And all you can see is his feet, and then all of a sudden you hear, because that's the sound it makes. It's a terrifying sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds horrible.
He's
Yeah, it
dead.
does.
Yeah,
He dead.
gone.
Well, this, as it relates to fears, is probably not really like that. But 3 is fears, and it was just saying, like, often people's barrier to success is being afraid of something.
Right.
And she was just saying, like, the underlying thing is people thinking, like, they're not enough, whether it be in, life, work, family, whatever. So that was number 3.
That's a big deal.
Not
It's
feeling
a
like
huge, it's a
enough.
huge barrier
Yeah.
in a lot of things in life. That in the Mayhem Mindset game,
Am I enough?
one of the main emotions that we deal with in this section where we kind of talk about that is fear.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of trying to figure out whether it's danger or it's fear, figuring out what those fears are, and then doing some things to address them.
Which is absolutely. And
Which who knew it was an important part of brain health.
Well, and she was saying too, like, obviously to combat it, the biggest thing is understanding, and it's something that you say too, just from an awareness standpoint, is understanding when the voice in your head is actually, if it's something to be afraid of
Right.
or not, so that
Right.
you can tell the difference. And because your brain is hardwired to keep you safe, but that is also the same thing that keeps you average. So you
Right.
have to understand the difference between.
Danger and fear.
Mm-hmm. Can you explain that again? You always
Danger is real.
Mm-hmm.
We should pay attention to it. Fear's not. Fear's
Made up in your head.
Fear is something that's not. Fear doesn't exist in the present. Fear only exists in the future. It's something that might or might not happen.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do all kinds of statistical, research about what kind of fear. Like 8% is what they say of what we fear actually comes true.
Oh wow.
And so in many ways, statistically, think about that.
Yeah.
We limit ourselves because of things that we're imagining may happen to us that never really do. Think about your own life.
Yeah.
What you've been afraid of and how much of that actually
came
really
true.
happened.
None of it. Well, not none of it, but
Yeah, but not very
most
much of it.
Yeah.
And if they were things that you were afraid of, it was actually sometimes it's like silly stuff, like goofy stuff that really honestly doesn't have a lot of bearing in our life.
Afraid
So-
of in the past.
So really kind of trying to decide like if this is dangerous and something I should pay attention to, and we should plan for that and pay attention to it.
I like
But
that.
we're doing Mayhem Mindset right now in Hendersonville, at
Yeah.
CrossFit Hendersonville, and there's like 20 guys in there, and I think we're on week 4, and it's awesome, and it's kind of fun because it's all dudes, so it's just kind of you don't have any other dynamics, and so we can really put it out. And we spent a ton of time last night talking about fear,
Wow.
and just every guy kind of talking about what that means in their life and what it is, and
guys too. So there's
They are.
open discussion, and nobody's afraid to
Yep.
say how they really feel.
yeah, it's been really cool.
It's got to be like hugely instructive.
Yeah, but
especially for that guys to talk about that topic, because I imagine it's not something that most males would, correct me if I'm wrong, would go up and be like, let me tell you what I'm afraid of. I really fear this.
This group
like
this group of dudes has some good leaders already. Some guys that are super sharp and guys that have been associated around here and then have maybe moved that way or school or whatever. And then they're close. And so you don't have a lot of they had time together. So you don't have any of the goofy, I don't want to talk to you about my thing kind of deal. And they're all pretty sharp, pretty successful for the most part, and people who really are accomplished. So we were talking about this idea of negative emotion and replacing that with a positive value. What's the one emotion in your life that just keeps coming back and getting the best of your life? And then we had this discussion about fear last night, and it's a lot of what we're talking about right here. Just trying to identify, well, what's that one thing? And in general, as you went around the room, it's almost laughable by the time you start talking about it and putting it in context. It's not laughable when you're just dealing with in your own head, you know? But yeah.
But that's pretty powerful, though. Like the one emotion that keeps coming back, you know, that's really in itself, I think, powerful to think about and analyze. Because I feel like people could arrive at that pretty quickly if you think about it, you know?
What's your number one fear? I mean, if you were to really analyze it, I can tell you what mine was. My number one fear in my life, and I knew I was afraid, but I couldn't tell you what it was for the longest time. I knew there was something that kept me, and it was the fear of looking bad. When I really realized, man, I just don't want to look a fool, and it kept me from maybe being the athlete that I could have been completely. It kept me from
taking chances.
Well, it kept me from mayhem mindset for years. Because I'm not going to spell real good. That's, I'm afraid to be in front of people. I know I'm going to stumble over my words. That's going to happen. I'm going to say something stupid. And it kept me from getting into the space where I could really be the person I was created to be and have a voice, because I spent a lot of time worrying about what I was going to look like. And I had to really fight to battle that and get through that. Coming here was really cool because being involved with you guys is awesome, because you're not really paying attention to what you look like. 90% of the time, you're sweaty, just getting working out, you're on a camera, you just put your hair up and you go, and that's really freeing.
Right.
You know?
Wow.
So what's your greatest fear? What is it? No right or wrong answer. I mean,
I'd have to think on that.
I think mine would go a lot more to deeper levels as to why that is, but
right.
I mean, I think more of it is living up to potential, and like I think we're all afforded certain gifts, and we have the ability to live up to them and not prioritizing or taking the right path.
Yeah.
To live up, it's like, obviously, like I talk about my dad a lot and how much he supported me, but I've always wanted to. Again, it goes back to being enough. Be enough.
Yeah.
Make this person proud.
Miss
do
opportunities.
Right. Do everything
live
they've
with purpose.
done.
Yeah. That's
all
pretty
that stuff.
common in some sort of language. That's a pretty common one that you would hear.
Be able to
somebody
serve
say.
others through. You know what I mean? Like if you don't live up to your potential, then you can't do all these things.
Yeah.
You can't care for people. You can't do anything. So.
Right.
Don't miss that opportunity, I guess.
What about you?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe just having cool ideas, but not actually doing them ever.
Yeah.
Following through.
Yeah.
I think mine's like providing for family, for
Yeah.
everybody here. It's
Yeah.
like, are we gonna what's gonna happen?
You have a lot of pressure on you.
Yeah.
As somebody who's leading this thing, for sure. And the people who are looking at you are family, and
right.
you need to do the right thing. And yeah, I mean, I think in the Mayhem Mindset game, we want to take those emotions and it's what we do in our lives. Our value of faith, our value of work, our value of hope. Those are actual tools that we're getting up and saying, well, I feel this way, but I'm moving today and I'm creating and generating energy based on this belief.
Right.
I'm going to allow my emotions to hold me here. And I think, that's to be human, right? There isn't anybody that's immune to that. We don't necessarily we were talking about last night. We don't necessarily, that's not something we necessarily overcome. We just get really good at it when we work at it. Addressing that stuff and running into, I call adversity a dragon. You run the dragon to a corner, you get good at beating it. You don't kill it, probably don't get rid of it. If you bring a snake in here and put it on the table, you want to talk about silly fear, or that kind of fear.
Depends on if it's venomous or not.
Actually,
there's several videos of Ellie with snakes.
Different kind of fear.
There was a several-month period of my life that because of him, I didn't know if my adrenal glands worked anymore.
It wasn't just me. It was others. Everybody else pitched in, too.
But to be fair, when you opened that fake snake from Amazon, it startled you.
That's
good. How real that snake was.
It didn't startle me, but I knew it was fake.
Okay.
There's several good videos.
Yeah.
Either in the bathroom, we put the snake in the bathroom,
or
you guys did that to her last year.
The best one was she pulls in and there's like 4 or 5 cars. And so I rolled under all the cars and set it right when she stepped out. And so she stepped out.
It was the first time I'd seen it, too.
Up at your place?
Up at Dad's place.
Oh, Dad's place. So there could be a snake or something around that way, for sure.
The scream was so loud, it hurt my chest.
You know how she does? She completely... What was it a couple weeks ago when she fell?
Like the fainting goat thing?
What was that? Yeah. What was the one it was 2 weeks ago. She just completely.
What did you throw? It was something you put. It was a dead animal.
Oh, it was a mouse. It was a mouse that was dead in the bathroom,
yeah, the
and I just
bathtub.
walked up and had it right here, and I said, "Ellie," and she straight
It
down,
was like he was
true-
gonna
true fainting goat.
It was like you were gonna chloroform me with a dead mouse. It was more like, yeah.
it was
that
dead.
if you really want the visual,
It was a pretty big mouse.
It was a big mouse.
Yeah,
It was a field
warranted,
mouse. It was a field mouse.
collapse.
This was recent. I
It was
missed
about
this.
2 weeks ago, 3 weeks
Yeah.
ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, the fourth one actually segues exactly what we're talking about. Was future. Thinking about like.
Planning for the future.
Well, yeah, everyone thinks about the future, and the doctor was just saying, we're all going to the same place. But
Dead.
dead.
Thanks.
This did take a really dark
The
turn.
dirt.
I was like, oh, geez.
Relationships and death.
Yeah.
Let's talk about taxes.
While we're at it.
Oh. Anyway, she says that most people think about, what have I done? What message, what legacy are you wanting to leave?
Right.
And she was saying that the best way to think about your future and for your brain health is layering. And she's saying go as far as 25 years. She's like 25 years from now, if you have kids, your kids will be grown and gone, and things will be so different. So what does your life look like then? What does it look like 20 years out, 15, 10, 5? And she's like, if you can kind of layer it, it should give you some comfort as to what you're doing
I
in
don't
the long
actually
run.
like that. Why not live
Yeah,
in the
me-
present?
me either.
And then if you make all these like 20-year goals and you don't hit those goals,
It's
you're
not.
going to be
I don't think
like
it's a goal. I think it's preparedness in terms of how different the phases of life are, which you don't know what that's
Yeah.
going to be like, but at least preparing yourself, you could be surrounded by a million people now and then you could not be later on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like at least arriving at
It's transitions. It's-
exactly
Some sort of general framework for the
nothing,
future. Yeah.
crazy. Anyway,
Speaking of transitions, I think I'm going to get a sleeve tattoo. Did I say that?
Ooh.
that's going to be awesome.
Been
That's
talking to this
gonna be
company,
cool.
Everence. They do, so basically
I'm interested.
They take your kids or whoever, loved one's DNA,
Right.
strand of hair, and they break it down in signatures or
That's
whatever
cool.
and put it into the ink
Yeah.
and then do a tattoo. So I think I'm going to do a tattoo.
I think you
That's
look rad
cool.
with a sleeve. I think it really fits your personality.
That'll look good.
Which arm? Right
I think
arm
my
or left
right,
arm?
because I have this
Oh,
my,
yeah.
my dime brand on my left arm. So
What are you thinking? Let's talk about it.
yeah,
Let's-
so I think
let's dig
I
into
definitely
this.
want to have like
Yeah.
because the guy that did Josh Bridges, I'm talking to him or trying to talk to him about I think like a cross, like a wooden like old cross, because he does very realistic stuff. These are just ideas. Something with the rope, obviously, because that was like
Yep.
the big point
Yeah.
in my life where it kind of changed, took a different path. I want something with an eagle. My dad's always had this. It's like I love him, but the eagle looks like old and faded and nasty. But
But it's
Yeah.
cool.
it'll be cool.
It's
I don't
really
want to have that
cool.
eagle, but I want to have an
Yeah.
eagle because I've always liked that tattoo.
Yeah.
Something with the fire department. And then I was thinking like for white space or like background space, I want to have an American flag. And then I was thinking actually like the verse, like man never boasts anything except
Yeah.
like Galatians 6:14.
When did this happen?
I was thinking about it the one day, and I was like, I've been thinking about it for a
gonna
while.
be awesome.
And then I talked
Yeah,
to Josh,
that's
reached
super
out to
cool.
Josh, and
Can
he
you
got
just,
me a
like, do it
connection
next
with I know, right? With the Everence people.
Just hurry up and get it
And
done.
so I talked to them. And they're
That's
like, yeah, that'd be
cool.
great.
we want to
So
see it.
I know.
For 24
Well, you gotta
hours
find
straight.
a good tattoo artist.
Well,
That's the
the
key.
guy that did Josh, you've seen Josh?
Josh's
Yeah,
is
it's really
really
cool.
cool.
And so this guy, they hooked me
All
up
of
with
his
this
stuff
guy's
on there is
number, so I'm trying to get a hold of him to
Where's he at?
give him
California?
some ideas. Tucson, Arizona, I think.
Man, that's
But
awesome.
I think I'm gonna go with it. Hillary wasn't real big on it, but I think I've
was
worn
my
Can
it.
you do
next
it
question.
all in one time?
No,
Or
It's
does
like
it
10
take-
or 11 hours. I think. I mean,
Ooh.
if you can stomach it for 2 days. I mean, I want to get it done and be done. Like Josh's is like half done, and he still has more to do. But
You have the pain tolerance of like an ox.
I know,
you
but
can
like
do
10,
12
10
hours,
or
no
11
problem.
hours sitting.
that's a
there.
lot of just sitting there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you don't
But
sit
I
well.
just want to like get it done that way, because you're not supposed to work out for a couple days because of infection or whatever.
a
So
couple
Right.
days?
like 2 days or
You
so.
can't do that.
Just take some
Probably
antibiotics.
2 trips.
Just take some
Okay.
antibiotics and be good.
That's cool. I'm excited about this. I want to see
Yeah,
this.
that is
I
super
thought you were
So-
going to do it, but 2 days off of exercise.
Yeah, they're trying to get me connected with him so I can give him my ideas, and then he draws something up, and we
Right.
kind of go from there. But
That's cool.
yeah,
I really want to get that finished on my forearm, the one I want. I just haven't. I tried twice in Nashville to try to find somebody.
Party trip. Why don't you just go out with him
Should
to
talk-
Arizona?
Yeah, do that
There you
or
go.
talk
Yeah.
to Chase, who
Yeah.
did his. The guy who did
Oh,
his
his
is in
looks really
Maryville
cool.
or
Chase
something.
is
Chase
really
good.
cool
His
too.
is awesome,
His
yeah.
turtle and stuff on there is neat.
Yeah, I like it. Now we're talking about something I want to talk about.
Right?
Sorry.
Oh,
Well, I
Or we
guess
could
it
go
depends.
back to mac and cheese or Valentine's advice.
No.
How much time do we have left? Because I have a serious thing. And
4 minutes.
oh, okay, then I guess I don't. Have
Well,
time
we
for that.
started like what?
Oh,
we
yeah,
got
you're
probably
right.
5,
10
6
minutes.
minutes. Yeah.
So you don't want to go into the serious thing right now.
No, I don't want to go into serious things ever.
Exactly. That's why you're stuck in this room and you have to.
I
don't wanna
Hey, listen,
talk
I have a
serious.
question because I've had multiple people DM me.
Okay.
Explain from your perspective why you like the music you like when you work out.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I keep getting hit with this, and I'm like, let's ask Rich.
Yeah, everybody keeps asking about our playlist too. I don't know how to do that on Spotify. How I can share that, but I'll share it somehow.
I like your playlist.
What was the casting crowns
Casting
song?
Crowns? Which one?
There was the one that we talked about last time because I've had that multiple times. The
Oh,
one that
the-
they played at Wadapalooza, maybe.
No, that was Not Ashamed by not Christian Sandfeld. I don't think that one was. I don't remember which one that was, but it was Not Ashamed.
Not
was the song.
ashamed. There you go.
I don't know. I like, I like the slower. I don't need to get all fired up. All like I'm happy. Like I'm good. I want to work out anyway, so I don't need to be like yelled at or any of that type of stuff.
Christian Sandfeld.
Christian Sandfeld. Okay, Christian Sandfeld. He also there's a couple other songs. Fierce that he has is really good. I think it's him. I'm horrible with whoever actually sings it, but Fierce is amazing. It's a great song. What was I going to say?
But think about if you don't have to condition yourself to get hyped up to work out too. Like I don't know. I feel like it just puts you in such a different space. When
Yeah.
That's how we.
and I mean, I just like I rarely hear the music when I'm actually working out, but when I do catch pieces of it, like it's more uplifting and it's better. Like I mean, we will listen. Like I like to listen to Judah the Lion also, but it's not got a ton of cussing and stuff like that. I just my kids are usually around as well.
Yeah.
Judah and the Lion's a little bit more upbeat, but it's still positive, good stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm like, we'll listen to like Red Hot Chili Peppers and stuff like that, but I just like to be in that space of like, just kind of like a flow, like we talk with flow and just, I don't need that, I don't need to be yelled at. I don't need to be cussed at. I don't need and half the time, like we say, the positive in, positive out. If you're listening to that junk, like, that's what happens. Like that's you can't I'm not gonna say you're gonna go out and like do the things in the song, but
Right.
your mind is gonna go like in a different way, and I feel better when I don't do that.
Even like from a language standpoint, and I mean,
Oh, yeah.
your brain at rest is going to replay recorded,
Yeah.
thoughts, memories, words of things that you hear. And honestly, hearing that, even if you don't, this is subconscious. You don't even realize you're listening to it,
Yeah.
and that will show up later on for sure. Without question.
Yeah, the
I think it's a
energy
great
level
point.
that you need from watching now. You want to be in that space where
Right.
physiologically, blood
Calm,
pressure,
yeah,
everything's
yep,
calm. You
chill.
can go to work.
Yep.
You don't that idea of needing some sort of music to generate the emotion necessary to get into the workout.
Yeah, it's exactly the emotion. Like I don't need that emotion, and I don't know. I don't need. I mean, and part of it is like, I've never done drugs. I've never done any of that stuff, so I don't really know what the heck they're talking about.
Right.
As lame as that sounds, and as old as it's like, I don't know what these kids are talking about these days. But I mean, I don't have any connection to that, so I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm good. Like,
Can't relate.
can't relate. So
School of Hard Knocks.
yeah,
It's amazing though. I think of all the questions that people DM me lately that's been
yeah. I need to
people
figure
really
out a way to
curious about
share
that.
the actual, if you go to like Spotify. And like,
So it is an actual channel.
Well,
of some
so
kind?
I've created
I thought you had a
playlist. I
playlist.
do have a playlist on
I thought those were your
Spotify.
songs.
But then, like, if you go to Christian Mix, and or Top Christian
So that's what you play in the
Contemporary
barn?
sometimes, and Judah and the Lion on Spotify. Those are the things that we listen to. But I actually have like a library with some playlists that I have. But I just don't know how it's called.
I wonder if you can just make them public and then you could tell
Yeah,
people
maybe
what
that's
they
how
are.
you do.
Cam's
like,
technological. She can help.
Iron
can figure it out.
Bell. Iron Bell Music is another great one. But yeah, we have Fitness One, and it's just all Christian stuff. I don't need to
There you
figure out how
go.
to share that.
Boom.
There you go, everybody. Now you know.
Oh, it says make secret. I guess it is
Answered
already
for
out
the
there.
people,
But
Silver.
I have
Oh,
0
I like
followers.
it.
I don't
Jump
know
in
how
there.
to.
Oh.
I don't know how to share it to where people can follow it,
I'll
but
try
maybe
to
we'll figure that out.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, I
Yep.
think that's a solid place to end.
That's it. All we got.
Episode.
61.
61.
RP Strength, Trifecta, MayhemMindset.com, CrossFitMayhem.com. We got some stuff coming out soonish, apparel-wise. Shakers, some mugs.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Working on Froning Farms. Got
Wow.
some bison.
Ooh.
That's
Yeah,
gonna be so
we're gonna have
cool.
bison.
That is going to be cool.
Yeah.
Man.
Buffalo roaming the countryside.
That's gonna be awesome.
Or bison.
Yeah,
We'll talk about that at
everybody-
some
Yeah,
point.
we'll talk about the difference. There's no
Yeah.
difference, actually. It's just people call them buffalo when
Oh.
they're actually bison.
Okay.
The American bison.
Who knows?
Okay. I
Yep.
didn't know.
Cool.
All right, till next week. Peace.